It's enough, I think. It's enough, I think.
Donald Trump has an economy problem. An economy problem. At this recent rally that he had in Pennsylvania, the numbers weren't looking too good. Wasn't looking too good for Donald Trump. You can see this here for yourself. Really American shared this. You can hear a pin drop at Trump's rally as he lies to Pennsylvanians about prices fall flat. So listen to this, guys. Again, this is not the usual crowd that you see at a Trump rally either. Listen to this.
2.9. Look at that. Our prices are coming down. Their prices, it's a hoax. They just, remember they said the Inflation Reduction Act. Remember that? Billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. The inflation, and after they got it approved, because we had a few Republicans that went along with that whole hoax. 2.9. Look at that. Our prices are coming down. Their prices, it's a hoax. They just, remember they said the Inflation Reduction Act. Remember that?
I know, they're all just...
So Donald Trump is lying his ass off. Pennsylvania is one of the states in the U.S. that still has that federal minimum wage at $7.50 an hour. It's a swing state as well. This rally, and I'll show you another image here. This rally was not well attended like his other rallies have been in the past. So lying to people in Pennsylvania, of all places. Now, of course, there's always going to be the simps. There's always going to be people that are like, we love you no matter what. And that's the people at this rally. But you can't continue lying to the American people and telling them that the prices are coming down when they're not.
There you go.
For those of us that shop.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Sabby, for covering that, because I hadn't seen that would be. Yeah, right. I mean, they're not having it. I mean, there's no cheering. They're just like, yeah.
So welcome, everybody, to the Green Live stream. Hey. I'm Edie, and I'm here with my bestie now, Mr. Scott.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, when people look in their wallet and they're at the grocery store and they're like, 2.9%. I'm not seeing it.
Oh, I mean, it is so obvious. You can't fake that one. You can talk theory and all kinds of, socialism and all that kind of stuff, and people will, not get that stuff, but they get it when they go to the grocery store. Man, do they get it.
Or they try to pay their rent or their house payment, or they try to put gas in their car to get to work, or.
I've got it with my friend Stevie. We go down the aisle and we'll just point and look at the price of something. It's like $15 or $26, and we're in a grocery store. It's like, what? And this is not a fancy grocery store, folks, in Chicago. It's like a regular grocery store. It's like, It's unreal.
So, so job cuts set to exceed the 2008 financial crisis. This is from Life After Layoff. Job losses are soaring. So I think we got the first 35 seconds.
Yeah, just a short.
The latest headline is that the U.S. layoffs are soaring past 1.1 million in 2025, which is the highest level since the pandemic and is now eclipsing the total number of job cuts that took place during the subprime crisis back in 2008. So these numbers are validating for people's experiences on the market where you're applying to job after job and just not getting a phone call back. And we're going to break down some of the numbers in even greater detail, look at a few charts to confirm that indeed this is one of the most difficult labor markets, at least in my career, potentially of all time. So,
and I think that that little thing at all time. And it is very true that, and you know what? I think I will read a little of this. We didn't put it in the show, but from Dave Bull, it was sponsored on Facebook, so that's a little creepy. But I mean, he does state it real clear. When you look at the trends in AI, tech spending, labor economics, I'm struggling like you were, Edie, and political messaging, a picture starts to emerge. AI is on the track to automate a huge share of cognitive jobs by the late 2020s. Reports from Goldman Sachs, MIT, all point to the same conclusion: a major wave of white collar displacement incoming, and it's arriving at a time, I lost it here, when unemployment and underemployment is already rising. When that wave hits, millions of displaced workers will be pushed into the only sector still hiring: lower wage, lower skilled jobs. But those markets are competitive. And then here's the cycle: fewer high paying jobs, more people forced to work low wage work, wage competition intensifies, corporations benefit from lower wage costs. Yeah. Political messaging blames immigrants instead of automation and corporate strategy. So to me, that was the big one. And,
Well, yeah.
yeah, I hadn't thought of it. This anti-immigrant stuff. Yeah, it's racism, but obviously racist. But it also feeds a narrative that they need, which is, gee, why are all these jobs disappearing?
Yeah, I watched all of Sabby's video there, and like she said, you could have heard her pin drop. They're just like, what?
Yeah.
Folks, no. Huh? But then he went back to his hits,
Right.
Oh,
right.
we hate these people.
Right.
They're like, yeah, we hate people.
And it's weird that he even tries to fake that crap. I mean, it's not,
Well,
that showed Trump at his worst, because he can't, he's trying to say these numbers. Remember the Induction Act? And it's like, nobody remembers that. No.
unless you're a policy wonk, Well, he wanted to be, great and the greatest. Well, he's going to have the greatest depression America has ever seen.
Well, quite possibly.
And he's going to deny.
Yeah.
So, wow. Yeah. Well, he's unhinged, and he's just a puppet. He's a useful puppet.
Yeah.
And the reality of this economy is, the next story that we have about do you want to let's do the graphic first. The 88-year-old man, veteran.
Oh, no. Don't do the graphic first.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
okay. Do the story first. That's fine.
Yep.
Just seeing if I could have help scanning this. Thank you. What was your name?
Ed.
I'm Sam.
Okay.
I actually had someone nominate you from this store and said you're very hardworking.
Well, I try to be.
May I ask how old you are?
I'm 88.
And still working?
Yes, I have to.
Why do you have to keep working?
Retired from General Motors in 99. 2012, I went bankrupt, and they took my pension away from me.
Oh my gosh. Do you have a wife?
She passed away 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
She was sick when I lost my pension.
So you've been struggling a bit?
A little bit.
You said that you lost your pension?
Yes, sir, I did. I was in the Army back in 66.
So you're a veteran too?
Yes. The thing that hurt me the most was my wife was real sick. And when they took the pension, they also took the health care coverage.
Yeah.
And all but $10,000 of my life insurance.
Oh my gosh.
So I sold the house, sold the property I had, and we made it through. My wife died 7 years ago. Since then, I've been trying to reestablish myself.
And you're working here how many days a week?
I work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day.
And you do that because you have to, or?
Yeah, I don't have enough income
What's your dream?
to live somewhat the life I was hoping for.
I'd like to share your story and try and, get people to help you retire.
Well, thank you.
Of course. You're amazing. I want to give you $400 here as a tip. Of course. You're amazing,
Thank you.
man. Of course.
I don't know what to say. It goes a long way to help me.
Give you a hug?
Yeah, thank you.
That's allowed.
So that video did go viral, and so there was a fundraiser for him. So that's the next graphic, is the fundraiser.
Okay.
And I don't
didn't
know
want to
what,
cry this early.
I know, right? No, and the one thing I caught, what was the name of the company that he worked for? I didn't catch that one. It was an auto company, I'm pretty sure. But anyway,
Oh, GM?
Was it GM? Yeah, it was an auto company that still exists today, right? So he said when they went bankrupt, he lost his pension. So bankruptcy laws, folks, that's That's what it is. They declare bankruptcy, they can get rid of all the pensions, but somehow they still operate. Isn't that interesting? So that's our,
And
lawfare at work to screw over individuals but save the company itself.
yeah, and he had to sell his house, it sounded like, to save his wife because probably the healthcare costs.
Right, the health insurance.
So
Which-
this man, he served our country. He's worked his whole life. He's done everything well, 88 years old.
80.
Most people don't even make it to 88.
I mean,
So I mean, that is the new economy. That's the real economy.
Yep.
They want you to work for peanuts until you die, so they don't have to pay you a damn dime.
right. Yep, and health insurance tied to
Employment.
employment, right? And again, the story now of how Obama could have gave us Medicare for all or public option, but he went with the Republican plan that gave tons of money to private industry, and now the rates are so great, and they're not going to assist anymore. So tons of people are going to go without insurance. Because I quote the numbers here before. I was on Affordable Care Act. I paid $700, and you could see in the statement they give $1,100 to Blue Cross Blue Shield. So if I was still on that, it would be $1,800 a month. No way, can't do it. You just have all these people are going to lose their insurance.
Yeah, and Blue Cross Blue Shield had a class action lawsuit that just got settled. It lasted for over 5 years because they colluded across state lines.
Okay.
I was in that because I had them when I was in California. And do you know how much my check was? Less than $100.
Yeah.
How much did they make off that?
I know. Exactly.
Yeah. So, wow. You did have a funny thing about the pizza. The pizza economy.
Oh, yeah. Pizza. We could do that. Is the pizza economy here? Yeah. You want to do that one?
Yeah. Let's we'll try to keep it light as we go. I know it's heavy subjects, but go ahead.
So this is RN for pushing left at progressive_RN. Nice. Gonna start a company where people pay me $400 a month for access to pizza. And when they want pizza, they can call me for pre-authorization and I'll tell them where they can go, how much they can buy, what kind they can get. My company will pay for 50% after the first $250 spent. That's exactly how insane it is that we have private health insurance. It's completely crazy. And that, deductibles, they come up with these terms to try, deductibles, how much cash you got to throw out before you get 1 ounce of health care. It's just horrible.
It really is. I mean, when you put it in those terms, people really kind of get it because it's been normalized.
Right.
You go to another country, Americans are shocked. You what? You get how many weeks vacation?
What?
You what? You don't have to pay, give over, a quarter of your paycheck or more now to healthcare costs.
And the big one on Red Note, the app from China that when it first went viral, the main one was, wait, you actually pay $1,000 to get an ambulance? We thought our government was giving us propaganda about the US. We're like, no, that is true. That is true. I mean, I witnessed it. $1,000 bill for an ambulance ride. So, yep, that's our country.
Well, I know for a fact that a hospital in Indiana charged for the ambulance ride from one building to the other on their same property across the street.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, right. I know.
Yeah.
We're just telling you the funny stories, folks. Yeah, there's way more serious ones. We've covered them on the show. They're just incredibly tragic stories that you hear from nurses, a lot from nurses, of the horrors that they witness because the insurance company won't cover something. It's just.
I'd like to say hi to our commenters, Richard Eglook. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. I'm going to keep practicing. Brian Grigsby. Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a big show today, but I totally appreciate your comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what we're trying to say is the economy is failing and it's on purpose. So do we have I guess the next thing would be, are we going to bring up did we bring up the fundraiser? They raised $1 million.
Oh, the graphic for him. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So and there's a video of them giving him the check for $1 million. So I don't know which company they went with to do the fundraising, but and unfortunately, it's a wonderful story, and it points to just the horrible situation we're in, because this guy's lucky. He's lucky. He happened to get picked. They asked for a specific employee and he was picked. But imagine the thousands of people out there that are, maybe not 88, but they long since should have retired. I mean, we see that. You go into stores and you see pretty old people working, especially at like Walmart, and it's the brutality out there. He got lucky. 99.999% of people don't get lucky.
Do not. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Or you see people that aren't well, that are obviously not well.
Yeah.
Coming in because they have to, because they can't afford not to. And it's still, the thing about it is it's still not enough. I mean, like they were saying, Sabby was saying $7.50 an hour.
Yeah.
You can't even buy what can you buy for that anymore?
I mean, you couldn't. No, there's not. You can't. It's absurd to think that you're going to pay a monthly rent when you're making $7.50 an hour.
Well,
I mean,
even fast food. Let's say you go fast food. Fast food, you're going to pay like $15 now.
Right. Oh, it's really expensive. It's really expensive. I know, it's terrible. Oh God, I go past the fast food place. Nope, can't afford that one. Especially Dunkin' Donuts. Oh my God, I should got one. They're all pretty bad, but I was like a milkshake was $8. What a milkshake! It's the one that's tied in Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins.
Well, and it's not the cost of it so much as that their pay didn't keep up with the cost of things.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm all for it being more expensive if you're paying your workers what they deserve to be paid to make it in the world. Yeah. But that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian, let's see what this is about. Talk to a strong Trumper whose granddaughter moved to Denmark and will not come back.
No, yeah.
I knew the reason that she would not say. After months, I said, tell me why she never came back.
Yeah.
I bet we can guess. Let's see. Because healthcare and nice economy and like they treat you with respect and they're not kidnapping you off the street, maybe.
Right. I know.
There's that. Yeah. Here you go. Typically, the government has to subsidize workers getting paid that low.
Right. No.
Yeah. So corporations pay you low. I mean, I remember a story, I don't know, 20 years ago, that Walmart was telling people how to get on assistance.
Right. That is absolutely true. No. To the link card story from last month with the government shutdown. It's those folks who are working, you have to work to be eligible for that, and which tells you their salaries are so low that they also qualify, right? You got to be working. Your pay is so effing low that you can get as food assistance. That's just terrific.
So you want to do the next thing is the 1.9 million?
Yeah. I can't remember. He said something at the end that I was a little not so in agreement with, but it's a shocking video just to watch, just to see. I don't know what state it's in. I didn't research it, but it's just a video showing America, and it's in our graphic. I used this for our graphic this week.
Something is breaking in America, folks, and it's not subtle anymore. Groceries are up 25% since 2020. Housing up 45%. Rent declared unaffordable in 98% of U.S. counties. People aren't downsizing. They're being priced out of existence. Right now, over 1.9 million Americans live in vehicles. That number has tripled since 2018, and it's climbing fast. Not because people want adventure, but because the system stopped working for them. Everyone feels it. The pressure, the squeeze, the quiet collapse in slow motion. But here's the part they don't want to talk about. Nomad life is no longer an alternative lifestyle. It's becoming a survival strategy and a movement. Every single day, thousands more join the road. Not homeless, systemless, not lost, unplugged. If you feel like society is cracking, you're not alone. This is the transition era, and you are watching a new America being built on wheels.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I kind of did like what he said. It's a movement. Like it's some kind of a positive thing, you know. And becoming unplugged. No, forced. It's because the rent got too high and they couldn't make it, or they lost their job and the rent stays at the high rate it is. So, but yeah, that was a really. I should have read more to see where that was from, but you could see that was an area that folks were just hanging out with their cars in, and and I guess
I mean they are homeless.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because in a lot of places it's illegal to sleep in your car.
Right.
And if you go to a camping spot, don't you have to pay?
Yeah, I think most of them. Yeah.
I mean, we watched. Most people watch that movie, No Man's Land. It's a tough life, man. It's brutal.
Oh, God. Grapes of Wrath, right?
Well, yeah, because that's what happened in the Depression. People had to migrate and try to figure out where they could survive.
Yeah.
People shipped their kids off to another state and
That's
stuff
why-
because they couldn't afford them. They had to go ship them to family that was somewhere else.
Yeah.
So Trump, greatest depression ever.
Yeah. It's it's heading that way. It's heading towards Great Depression.
Yeah.
I really think once AI really, and we've talked to some people, white collar job, lost their job, and they are aware that it's an AI replacement, and so
Yeah.
I mean the big wave is just about to hit. I mean
Yeah. So show that the food bank line in Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the next thing. And
Okay.
where is that?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it in Chicago. The food lines are starting to get longer.
Yeah, and one thing that I find interesting, I guess, is the people that have the least give the most.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And people have the most give the least. Yep. Brian says next year my Social Security check is reduced by $203 per month.
What?
What? Why?
Oh my God.
The whole family was ultra right wing, but the kids are noticing what the parents weren't able to.
Yeah.
They are their good Germans, denying what's happening. Yeah. Thank you, Brian. I'm so sorry. Yeah, they would cut everything off if they thought that we wouldn't just revolt like hell. They're doing it gradual. Get you used to it.
Yeah.
Do we have that next one ready to go? Kentucky Church Food Bank line on X.
Yeah.
There you
Here we go.
Look at that. Is it a video or just a picture?
I thought maybe it is just a picture. I'm sorry. I can't remember now, honestly. Does it have, let me see. Yeah, it is just a photo. I'm sorry. And this was posted anonymously to Reddit, but it was shared by Molly Pluff. Yeah, no, that's okay.
In the longest line I've ever seen at our local church food bank, been standing here for an hour. It's 34 degrees, a small town in Kentucky with a population of 4,800 people. Basically, 10% of the population is waiting at the food bank.
Yeah. Yep. 10% of the population waiting at the food bank. So that's why we're talking about this, folks. Like this, this might end up getting to depression levels because you have a number.
I think we're here.
Yeah.
Brian says schools should show grapes of wrath as mandatory.
Absolutely, because that's, boy, can folks relate to that movie today and book. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to cover something that's happening in my own town. Still investigating why this is happening. So this is from the Daily Egyptian, a local paper.
Yeah.
City of Carbondale cuts nonprofit funding, leaving local organizations facing uncertain future. They scaled back nonprofit funding. It has sparked concern among organizations that rely heavily on city support to serve vulnerable residents. I will say what they're probably not going to say in this article. Our poverty line rate is 37%. Think about that.
Yep.
So they're saying we don't care about 37% of you. However, they built this brand new center that cost millions because they got a grant for that. In a letter sent on October 31st, 2025, City Manager Stan Reno announced that community agency funding will be significantly reduced beginning in fiscal year 2027. The change follows the exhaustion of Federal American Rescue Plan Act funds, which previously helped sustain many local programs. Under the new rules, only groups funded in fiscal year 2020 or 26 will qualify for 27. And even then, they will receive just 50% of last year's amount.
Yeah.
No new applicants will be considered. For some organizations, the cut is devastating.
Yeah.
So, you know, of course, I've been paying attention a lot because they swept the homeless here. From private property, which is this big organization from out of state that they just want them off their property. I get it, but they're not allowed to be there, but they're also not allowed to be on public. There's buildings that are just falling down that belong to the city. They're not fixing them. They used to be dorms. They could just be housing the people for less than they're spending on just harassing them. But they're more interested in solar farms and bike lanes, and which is great. Solar's good if done the right way. Bike lanes are fine, but how can you prioritize that over somebody's life? Right. I just don't get that. And I told that to one of our city council members' face, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm just worried about the people that are on the edge." I'm like, because I guess they think they can just sweep them out of town once they just make it, too difficult to be here.
Well, and unfortunately, it's and unfortunately, even Democrats, Governor Newsom made that a photo op to be tearing people's homeless tents down. I mean, it's creepy the way people seem. At least the propaganda is certainly against people helping other people. It's just, to criminalize. They're criminalizing homelessness. I think they did that in Florida. You can't. All those horrific. They call it the what's that called? Where they design something like all the park benches that are anti-homeless. They stick
did that here.
things up. They got points along. Even just to sit. I can't believe the level of it. Like there's a little concrete wall that you could sit there. And they put these posts up so you can't sit on it. It's bizarre. I can't understand how they, they don't solve the homelessness problem, and then so there's a lot of homeless people around, and then the business owners and the people who lives in the fancy buildings don't like that, right?
Oh, we don't want to look at those people.
Right.
Well, it's your fault.
Right.
Yeah, thanks, Lewis. Good to see you. I voted for Jill Stein in 24, knowing this was going to happen. The only way to get people to understand the federal government is an American safety net, not a billionaire tax haven.
Right.
Well
I know. You're right. They've got the concept wrong, and they don't. They follow propaganda that doesn't talk about the tax havens for billionaires. That is true. Yep.
So, the next article, they I'll wait till the siren.
Okay, you do hear it?
Yeah, I hear it.
They did hear it. I'm gonna go mute.
I think it fits. Actually,
That's true. It fits. Emergency. Thank you for adding audio to our content.
So I never heard of the term necropolitics, and they're talking about the high cost of life in America. They focused on healthcare, but this is this SharePost? I think it's the original SharePost.
Necrocapitalism was a term that got started recently. Yeah.
Melissa Garriga, wrote this article. And she's talking about the doctor that got pulled out of surgery. They just harassed the heck out of her. But this graphic is incredible. I mean, just look at it. Does this describe America or what?
Yeah.
You know, you got a death's head holding the gun in one hand, cash in the other, and just trampling all the people. This is where we're at, folks. You know, but also think about it like this. That's millions of people, millions. When we all raise up and figure out a way to take it back from them, they won't be able to withstand it. They just won't.
Right.
But let's see. In this eye-opening episode, host Joshua Shear dives deep into the heart-wrenching realities of America's healthcare system with Melissa Garriga, a passionate advocate from Code Pink. Melissa shares her personal experience navigating the insurmountable costs of health insurance, not care, revealing the shocking truth behind premium hikes and the stark choices family face: go broke or risk their health. Together, they dissect the concept of necropolitics, exploring how government policies often, well, always, in my opinion, prioritize military funding over the lives of everyday citizens. As they unpack the stark statistics surrounding the healthcare access and the looming threat of medical bankruptcy, this conversation challenges listeners to confront the moral implications of a system that seems to value profit over people. Join us for a critical discussion. Yeah. I would kind of like to play the videos of the doctor towards the end if we got time.
Yeah, and you know, it does kind of cover both issues in the article of just the crazy rise in cost of the healthcare because the Affordable Care Act, and without those, you know,
yeah, you passed them. It's the go up a little. There you go.
But then at the same time, it's the Pentagon budget, and I think they just passed it, right? 900 billion, I think it was, or maybe it's going to go over $1 trillion. I'm not sure, but I mean, just insane amount of money. And what are we doing with that military money? We are working for the corporations so that they can steal the natural resources of any particular country that isn't agreeing to let them buy it in the first place. So that's why we're after Venezuela right now.
If they can't talk you into it, if they can't bully you into it, they're just going to hurt you and take it.
Right.
I mean,
Nigeria, we're about to go after them. Any country that just doesn't want to comply.
Venezuela, they captured an oil tanker.
Yeah, right. They just
so now America is pirating the seas.
And you know, I'll watch some mainstream media. They never mention the sanctions that we have put on Venezuela for years. Just horrible sanctions, and that's just us bullying. That's all that is. I mean, there's no actual reason to make another country suffer.
And the cost is, you know, healthcare. That's one of the main costs, you know. But go ahead and play that if you would.
Hey, it's Dr. Potter. Can you just tell me your name one more time? I'm sorry, you won't give me your name? I don't understand the relationship. I'm just asking for your name so that I know what doctor I'm speaking with. If we're doing a peer-to-peer, I just want to know who you are. So United won't let you give your name out for security reasons. Can you tell me what specialty you are? Did you do breast reconstruction? You did not do breast reconstruction. Okay, is it her plan that's not allowing her to have this, or United? Does she have a plan exclusion? Can you send me that evaluation? Like, can I see their reasoning and thought process when they've reviewed the literature to see what they reviewed? I mean, you understand this is this patient's one chance to have sensation preserved. And I do think that it's very reasonable to do this as a fellowship trained microsurgeon. I think it's very reasonable to dissect out the fourth intercostal nerve and to graft that to the dermatosensory elements on the nipple to try to give her this chance. Yeah, I would just love to see where United has gone through that data. I mean, I'm a physician, I'm a doctor, and I feel like I'm making a medical decision for my patient. It seems like United is making a medical determination about this. And I don't exactly know how that works, right? It seems like they're practicing medicine. I just want to read it like a paper, right? And see what the references are so I can understand. Can you email it to me? You're not allowed to email it to me? It's an internal resource. I mean, there's data from 2023 and 2024 showing that this is effective. Yeah, I really would love to read that and see what United is using as the data to support that. And this is her only chance, right? Okay. Yeah, I'll do an internal appeal. Yeah, and I appreciate your time, and I'm so sorry that y'all aren't allowed to give out your names as a fellow physician. Like, I would love to be able to talk to you like you were a peer, but it's crazy. Yeah. Well, best of luck to you, and I appreciate we will appeal. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, we will appeal while the person's probably dying, right? I mean, there's
Mhm.
time elements to these things too. I
Oh,
mean, I don't know what
absolutely.
specifically what was going on there, but it's just horrific. That's an excellent video.
Yeah, the
Thank
longer
you
you
for
wait on things,
adding
the more
that.
it costs, the worse it is, and the less chance you have of fixing it. Like,
And
early intervention is key in almost everything.
to see a doctor struggling with this insurance company, it really shows
Mhm.
what our insane system is. And I just wanted to add, it was United, and I wanted to add, I had seen that. I don't know how, if there's been any more results from it, but the Luigi trial where they had the body camera on when they arrested him, and they went through the backpack and didn't find a gun, and then the camera goes off, and then the camera comes back on and they find a gun. I don't know. I just saw that somewhere. I don't know if it's, but he's got, you know, his lawyers are working up. Yeah, there was no warrant when they searched, so they're trying, but yeah. It was United, so I wanted to add the little Luigi to it.
Oh, let's grab this guy. We can make him guilty for it, right?
Well, there is no doubt. I mean, that is the
I mean,
history
somebody
of the
did it,
West.
obviously, but you have to get the right person.
Well, and that's the history of the US law, is if there's somebody that's valued, then they will find somebody. I mean, the massive history in Chicago, and I'm sure other urban areas, of white person dies, they find a black man. They find a black man. That's been going on for decades. And, you know, it's amazing. Our friend Andy Thier, he worked for a law firm that worked specifically on getting evidence to have people who were wrongly convicted of murder come out. And I mean, they would post almost every week a new person that was released from new evidence, wrongly convicted for murder, black man, every single time. I mean, it's horrific. So yeah, that's our law system. They're gonna find somebody who killed the CEO of United. That's for sure. The right person, not necessarily, but they're gonna have somebody. That's how that system works.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I know. I mean, they're just punishing us because they won all the money, they won all the stuff. That's all. But I wanted to talk about the next one. So this is somebody from Fortune. He writes a column called "Yes, I Give a Fig." Michael W. Green. So thank you, Timmy Pappas, for sending this to us.
Oh, thanks, Timmy.
It took us a while to read it. You know, the first part's kind of, you know, in the financial world, but if we go down to how a broken benchmark quietly broke America, he says, I've spent my career distrusting the obvious. Markets, liquidity, factor models, none of these ever felt self-evident to me. Markets are mechanism of price clearing, mechanism have parameters distort outcomes. This is the lens which I learned to see everything. Find the parameter, find the distortion, find the opportunity. But there was one number I had somehow never interrogated. One number that I simply accepted. The way a child accepts gravity. The poverty line. I don't know why. It seemed apolitical. An actuarial fact calculated by serious people in government offices. A line someone else drew decades ago that we use to define who is poor and who is middle class and who deserves help. It was infrastructure, invisible, unquestioned, foundational. This week, while trying to understand why the American middle class feels poorer each year despite healthy GDP growth and low unemployment, no longer true, by the way, I came across a sentence buried in a research paper. The U.S. poverty line is calculated as 3 times the cost of minimum food diet in 1963, adjusted for inflation. I read it again. 3 times the minimum food budget. I felt sick. I think that kind of says it all there. Well, this lady said she was the woman to put together, Molly Orshansky. She worked for Social Security Administration. Back then, that was true, but she was also setting the floor, which that's no longer the case. A lot of people make a third of the poverty line, if that. I mean, assistance is basically a third of the poverty. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading a little further down there, and he wanted to see, he goes, I wanted to see what would happen if I ignored the official stats and simply calculated the cost of existing. I built the basic needs and did no vacations, no Netflix, no luxury. And so he has, now I don't know, he doesn't give the, whether that's annual, how this works. Childcare, 32,000, housing, 23,000, food, 14,000, transportation, 14,000, blah, blah, blah. And then he gross income of 136,000 is how you would just live, like be able to make it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
and so they have the poverty line way lower than that. And he said he was doing minimums. So yeah. No, it's
So I mean, that's another lie that they're telling. I mean, and then he goes into the single largest line item isn't housing, it's childcare. This is a trap. To reach the median household income of 80,000, most families require 2 earners. And a lot of times, one of them works more than one job. Yep. But the moment you add the second earner to chase that income, you trigger the childcare expense. If one parent stays home, the income drops to 40 or 50,000, well below what's needed to survive. If both parents work to hit 100,000, they hand over 32,000 of it to the daycare center.
Yeah. So that's the thing, folks, is that all of our money goes to not all of our money, but such a substantial portion goes to the military to keep these CEOs of these companies happy, that's why we are struggling. That's why we are in so much worse situation than other countries, is that our political system has been so corrupted that they barely do anything for the citizens, almost nothing. And you could see the way it's happening, the way the government shut down, they didn't care. They didn't, food stamps got cut off, they didn't care. Now people's insurance, they don't care. But
they're using it as politics, political football.
But then $900 billion. I mean, you can't even think of that. How much is $900 billion? Goes to fund terrorizing countries. Mm-hmm. That's what that stuff is. And it was kind of okay that they changed defense to the Department of War. But again, it's not even war, because none of these situations are war. We haven't had any wars, people. We just invade countries and attack them and steal their resources. That isn't war.
And hurt their people.
Right.
Yep.
None of this is war.
And the struggle in this country. Yep. There's the siren again. I think that's still appropriate.
Okay. You can tell me when to turn off. I will.
Emergency. So the next article is from Truthout, Derek Seidman. Why Walmart wants to see the Starbucks barista strike fail. I didn't even know there was a strike going on. Hands it off to the media again.
I think I saw one post. Yeah, I think I saw one post.
So thousands of Star workers across 100 cities are nearly 1 month into an expanding nationwide unfair labor practice strike in protest of the coffee giant's historic union busting and failure to finalize a fair union contract, according to Starbucks Workers United.
Oh, wow.
A barista union that has spread to over 650 stores since its birth in Buffalo 4 years ago. The strike comes after years of illegal anti-union antics by Starbucks and follows a historic $39 million settlement announced on December 1st for more than 500,000 labor violations.
Wow.
Committed by Starbucks management in New York City since 2021.
In one city. What?
Wow.
Oh my God.
The rise of Starbucks Workers United has energized the U.S. labor movement as the struggle to unionize the mega chain represents far more than baristas pitted against managers. Starbucks is a trend-setting global powerhouse and one of the top U.S. employers. Current fights at places like Starbucks and Amazon, which is doing the same stuff, will shape the labor movement for decades to come. But the reason Walmart doesn't want it, oh, here we go. I'll just keep reading. This is well understood by industry leaders in no small part because of Starbucks' deep interlocks with major corporations across numerous sectors. At the highest levels of governance and management, Starbucks' closest industry ally may be Walmart, the top U.S. corporate employer and a longtime anti-union stalwart. Starbucks and Walmart, along with the other corporations represented on Starbucks' board of directors, also support major industry groups that carry out the retail and service sectors' wider agenda of weakening unions. And I mean, these people they're on each other's boards. They're working together against us.
Oh yeah, that is for sure.
Yeah.
No, and again, it does seem to, mirror our past, like in the 1920s, and that's when labor was really fighting. They were fighting for rights, and so I mean, it's good to see the rise of the unions in Starbucks. That's a good thing. And I remember locally there was some that were unionizing. This was about a year or two ago. Mm-hmm. So but yeah, we're in a tough battle, folks. We really are. I mean, and you see it in the big picture. I keep saying, because this week they're passing a $900 billion military budget. So you really see the big picture there of what our country is doing, because our politicians are paid off, and we got to get rid of them, folks.
Yeah, we got to put people in there that won't accept that money because they know what it is. That are loyal to the people that live here. The average person. That's going to fight to make it better for everybody. They're never going to do it. I'm looking at some of these numbers at the Starbucks Walmart nexus. Wow. Marissa A. Mayer, who became a Starbucks board director in June 2025, has sat on the retail giant's board since 2012. Nicole was compensated $274,973 by Walmart in 2025, and Mayer made $299,973. Mayer currently owns 129,642 shares of Starbucks stock, worth around $11 million, but they can't pay their workers. This is the thing. They won't.
Yeah.
They're so afraid they're going to lose $1.
No, it's terrible. And I think Brian makes a good point here. There was so much injustice you could do this for hours a day, 7 days a week. Yes, we could, but we need bathroom breaks, and and we might unionize over here. We're going on strike from the Illinois Green Party.
5 hours, that's our limit.
They don't
we need
pay
a
us
break.
enough. They don't pay us enough, as in a penny.
Yeah. We went almost up to 6 hours with one bathroom break.
Right.
But that's volunteer work.
Yeah. But no, that, right. And that, that's another thing that I am going to plug our show, because, one of the most brutal things, a lot of times, confession, I'll listen to my favorite shows or watch them at the gym. And so, like Gray Zone and all those kind of places, and they got to make their money, so they monetize their videos, and it drives you nuts. Like every 5 seconds, you're like getting rid of the commercial, and you got to move on, and maybe you'll get a couple minutes and you'll get a commercial. We don't monetize because we're a political party. I don't even think that's allowed. I don't know, but anyway. So if you watch our show later on, folks, there won't be commercials. So it's nice. It's nice to be able to watch a show where you're not like, give it another commercial, waiting for it to say skip.
Yeah. The only commercial that we have is us asking you to like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell.
Yeah.
Join the Green Party.
Okay. So we do have commercials.
If you can. But it's activism.
Yeah.
It's activism.
Right.
Let's take our activism into the halls of power. That's what we got to do.
Yeah. And the commercials on YouTube are just horrible. They remind me of those old-fashioned things. Buy this treatment to get your hair back and your life back, and it's all that real hard sell of some weird ass products. It's creepy.
I tell you, the one that's been stalking me everywhere I go on YouTube. I guess they figured out that I'm a girl, so automatically I want a Coach purse,
Yeah.
and they just won't stop. I'm like, I don't care how you keep slicing it. Wouldn't
Oh
buy
my
one
God.
probably if I had the money.
Oh God.
One, because I mean, you're annoying me.
Oh
You know what I mean? It's relentless.
yeah.
And they get famous people to tell you why you need something expensive when you can't afford food hardly,
know.
you know?
Right.
Just ridiculous. Or insurance on things, right?
Oh my God. You know, and there was a part of that article had to do with AI replacing salespeople. Like, I guess that's a real, because they see AI is generating more income. And so the salespeople are now looking for jobs. And it's like, and you know, I guess in the comments section, they were laughing at them. It's like, folks, I mean, just think about it. So AI is going to run sales, but there's not going to be any people who have any money to buy anything. So they're going to do great for a while. They're going to save money. They fired all their sales managers and salespeople.
Yeah, at the end of the day, who's going to buy your stuff?
Who's going to buy?
That's why this mentality is so short-sighted, and it's gonna break our country.
It is.
It already is, because people can't afford anything, and the middle class is probably under the real poverty line at this point, I'm thinking.
Oh God, yes.
And now they're going to go after the next level, the white collar workers that have kind of been hanging on, and it's going to be feudalism.
Yeah.
You know, which I don't know if y'all know what that is, but it's like, you know, the elite, the wealthy, and everybody else is a serf.
Right.
That just, you know, that does all the work. So while we still can, we need to figure out ways to use our power.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was looking at this next article, and I wish I would have lined out where I wanted to read from, but just I think this is about Netflix. Report calls attention to capitalism's destruction of the press and the media system. You know, they're Larry Ellison from Oracle.
Yeah.
So this is by Kevin Gosztola, the Dissenter, with Netflix's bid for Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount's hostile offer to Warner Brothers. A report from the Roosevelt Institute calls urgent attention to the way in which media consolidation and deregulation has impacted the freedom of press. The Roosevelt Institute, a progressive think tank, contends that the press clause in the First Amendment has all but disappeared. Instead, it is now widely accepted in government that the First Amendment defines the freedom of private entities to operate without public accountability rather than the right to know, citizens' affirmative right to freely accessible, trustworthy, and democratically essential information.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no doubt that that kind of went out the window. It was quite a few years back. I mean, it's just like I was telling Edie, I just watched, I had public television on, and they had what's her face? Whatever her
Christiane
Amanpour. And it was just the most horrific, like blatant pro regime change in Venezuela propaganda. And again, what's so gross about it is they turn it into these hero stories. So they've got a video of Maria Mercado, is that her name?
Yeah,
waving from a window because they did this big operation to get her out of the country, and she's escaped and she's made it. I mean, just the drama that they put around this crap. And, no one had ever heard of her, and she wins the Nobel Peace Prize. That should be pretty suspicious to people, right? And now she's the big celebrity. And that's what's so gross is they tie these stories into things as they prepare to go slaughter people in Venezuela, because that's how it works. They want the public on their side, so they come up with drama. So
manufacturing consent. Yeah. They're manufacturing the consent. They're trying to feed us propaganda so we won't be up in arms when they attack a country that did nothing to us. Matter of fact, we have been attacking them for years. There's sanctions on them.
Oh, horrible sanctions. That's why most of the people leave the country, is because of the sanctions. I mean, you're starving those people. So of course.
And she had, she proudly said I saw it on X. The sheet, American companies, come on in and get our national oil.
Right. She just blatantly says it. She names.
I'm
the
gonna
companies.
just let you have it.
Yep.
If I'm in charge, it's all yours.
Right.
So that's what it's all about.
Right. So they're going to install her after they try to either kill Maduro or, force him out.
Yeah, and I've also seen reports that they've been targeting his family.
Oh God, I'm sure of that. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is why foreign policy affects us so much, because they push the propaganda on us to make us not pay attention to what they're actually spending the money on.
Right.
They keep us in the system of desperation and just trying to survive, and and we're going to talk about it here in a little bit, how they just try to numb us to what's happening. Yeah. So I'm glad you put this in here, the Glenn Greenwald, which that guy's amazing.
This is really good. I think
Bill
this,
Maher.
that's the thing. I give it to, the brainiacs out there that can debate. They can really debate. And he's one of them. I don't quite have that talent, but he's
sharp.
And he really gives it to Bill Maher. And it's great to listen to this, folks. Listen to the crap that Bill Maher tries to do. He tries to make it about emotion. He tries to, this is brilliant.
Lots of religions, not just Islam, produce violence. It was our government that kept Mubarak in power, just like we've done across the entire Muslim world. And it's amazing for you to say that, well, look at all these Muslims. The minute you give them a little bit of freedom, they go wild and they start being all violent. How can you be a citizen of the United States, the country that has generated more violence and militarism in the world over the last 5 or 6 decades, and say, look at those people over there, they are incredibly violent? We play a significant role in what has been happening in the Middle East because we've been interfering and dominating that region in order to have access to the oil.
I wasn't talking about violence. I was talking about theocracy. That doesn't happen here.
No, well, okay, that doesn't happen here, but at the same time, Iran isn't invading lots of other countries and occupying them for a decade, nor are fundamentalist Muslim countries the way the United States is. So these things are interlinked because we are continuously interfering in that part of the world. And so to say—
Really, it's all our fault?
It's not all our fault, but when you send your military for 6 straight decades into other countries to bomb them, kill their children and women and innocent men, prop up dictators, you take responsibility for your actions and say, to the extent that region—
That religion goes back 1,000 years before our revolution. So I don't think we can take all the blame.
I don't think we should. I think we should take a lot of it. And there's lots of bodies and corpses that have been piled up in the name of Christianity and Judaism as well.
Not recently.
Have you heard of the occupation of the West Bank and Gaza for the last 50 years, motivated in part by extremist views of Judaism, or the wars in Europe, or the fact that there were generals in the United States saying we have to go and invade and destroy Iraq, a country of 26 million people, because our God is bigger? Lots of religions, not just Islam, produce violence.
Well, if I could just make one quick point about Egypt.
That silly liberal view that all religions are alike because it makes you feel good.
No, it makes you feel good to say our side is better. Those people over there are primitive and violent.
No, it makes you feel good to put a crown on your head and say, I'm a good person. How do I prove that?
You get to ignore the responsibility that your own government has for the violence and instability in the world by saying, look, it's that primitive religion over there that's to blame.
That was perfect. That was absolutely perfect, because Glenn Greenwald throws in a bunch of facts, and all he can say is, oh, so we should— it's all our fault. Oh, we should all
you're trying
be
to
blamed.
say it's all our fault?
Oh, well, it's
I'm
not
guilty of something.
Oh, no, it's not recent. Oh, you just want to feel good. You're a silly liberal who— name calling, generalization, no facts to speak of, and Glenn just hits him with another fact.
And demonization of an entire religion, an entire part of the world.
Just pathetic. I mean, it's gross that Bill Maher gets airtime. It is gross.
Well, maybe we should start boycotting HBO until they take him off.
Well, it's just great that there's a Glenn Greenwald out there to rip him apart. And
yeah,
I'm glad.
The word that was coming to mind is he eviscerated him.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that's what's required. These folks, they try to work the propaganda system, but you look at the facts, and the facts are, we have done so much damage in the name of a God. They use that all the time. They do. They use it all the time in the propaganda.
Yep, they sure do. And Glenn, like Brian said, Glenn got applause from the Bill Maher audience.
Yeah.
And oh my God, you want to know one thing that'll make Bill Maher crazy? Because he's a little like Trump. He needs that. That's what he's there for. He wants that adoration.
Yeah.
That's why he's there. Yeah, and he's a Zionist. I saw that interview with the girl from TYT. What's her name? Definitely a Zionist. Just believe in all the stuff that's been debunked a million times. No new information gets in. He had this thing about being in a bubble. He made a big deal out of it. Like he's in his own bubble.
Okay. No.
So, did you want to talk about the Somali stuff? It was kind of cute. I'll let you take this segment. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'll try it. It was really funny. So I guess it started with Trump ragging on the Somali people, and specifically, I can't remember, he called them garbage or something, you know what Trump does, but then at the same time sending ICE to Minnesota. So those two things in combination. And so folks got really creative on Twitter. And so they declared that, I guess I could start with this graphic, that they found these tablets that said Minnesota was promised to the Somalis 3,000 years ago. And it's in Genesis 15:18 and Genesis 17:7-8. Minnesota was promised to the Somali people. And so there's a wonderful video, if you want to play that video, Hazel. And then so they were trolling Zionists because that whole thing of it was deemed to them and send us $4 billion. So they were doing that, and they were also trolling Americans just in general of the discovery of America, and what the reality is. No, we just slaughtered Native Americans. We just came in and slaughtered. It wasn't a discovery. Oh, and so this one, okay, we can do this one. So this is really good trolling.
A lot of white nationalists are really upset about Somali immigration to Minnesota for some reason. But the thing is, Minnesota is the homeland of the Somali people, and it was promised to us 3,000 years ago. In fact, one of the founding documents of the state of Minnesota is literally codifying into law that Somali people have self-determination on that land. As it states very plainly in the basic law in Minnesota,
Here it is.
Of Minnesota is the historical homeland of the Somali people, in which the state of Minnesota was established. The state of Minnesota is the home of the Somali people, in which it fulfills its natural, cultural, religious, and historical right to self-determination. The right to exercise self-determination in the state of Minnesota is unique to the Somali people. The state views the development of Somali settlement as a national value and will act to encourage and promote its establishment and consolidation. So that's the end of the debate. The only people who have the right to self-determination in Minnesota are Somalis. Somalis have a cultural tie to the land. It was promised to us 3,000 years ago, and we have the right to go back to our homeland. If anybody wants to help me pay for Aliyah to my homeland, please help me out.
There you go. Please help me out. I mean, that's just such beautiful trolling. Really, really strong stuff. And it's the Zionist troll there is fabulous. And I love just he's got the facts. He's got the document that says ABC. It proves it.
Yeah, you just replace the word in what Israel's doing. And then you see the irony and it's ludicrous. It's outrageous what they're doing.
Yeah, but no, they were having a really good time on trolling. I recommend going on Twitter to Son of Somalia. He's got most of the stuff, the trolling stuff there. It's really fun. But I mean, we got a couple others. You want to show the Discovery of America?
Yeah, the Discovery one. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
Let's see, what did we call it?
Oh, you got it. You found it, Hazel.
Brothers, behold it, the white land of the north.
The white land.
The skyline, just like on the old drawings. 3 centuries our elders taught, behold, this is Somalia. 3 centuries past, it was promised to us. On these horses through the snow, we have found our land at last. It belongs to us now. Brother,
It belongs to us now.
And it's Somalia.
Somalia.
Somalia. Oh, it's just so much. They really had fun on Twitter, folks. It was a fun week on Twitter. People were just having a great time. Oh, and there was one other that they even, wanted to tie it into American history. So here we have General Abdi Stonewall Muhammad was known for his military leadership as a Confederate general during the American Civil War. So yeah, they were just having a great time.
Yeah.
Super fun. And that's a good reaction to Trump's stupidity. It's just pathetic.
Yeah.
Pathetic. Calling people garbage. I mean, it just.
Well, there's an old saying that every accusation is a confession.
Yeah.
So, he constantly needs approval. No amount of power or money will ever be enough. And that, I think that goes across the elite. It's all about competition, and at the base, I think they're very insecure people. But we shouldn't have to pay for their insecurity. They need to go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? Like, could you just quit and leave us out of it? go get better somewhere else. But I think I want to kind of switch this up a little bit. The Supreme Court's decision on birthright citizenship. I mean, this could have massive effects, however they decide. So, simply put, the argument against the Trump administration is that the 14th Amendment's expansion of citizenship after the eradication of slavery was meant to be broad rather than narrow, encompassing not only formerly enslaved Black people, but all persons who arrived on U.S. soil under the protection of the Constitution. And there's a real chance that the originalists are going to hang their hat on citizenship without consent of the government. So the opposing argument begins with a simple intuition. In a society defined by self-government, as America is, there is no such thing as citizenship without consent. And, this is just going to be used as a tool to get rid of people that they don't like.
Oh, yeah. No, it's pretty scary that the Supreme Court decided they want to take this one. That's scary in itself.
To even hear it.
Yeah. That's a bad sign. That's a real bad sign.
Yeah. So I feel like, us as a people, we have a short window, maybe a couple of years, if we're lucky. Yeah. We got to figure out how to stop all this from happening. Because if we don't, we're not going to like the future.
Do you want to play the Tucker Carlson one? Because I think it's a good.
Did I miss it?
Yeah.
Please do.
It's just a kind of a interesting. We'll talk a little bit about it. It's very short.
Mm-hmm. And this kind of made me feel like I was in an alternate reality.
Yeah.
For a minute.
Yeah.
The idea that they've killed tens of thousands of women and children, non-combatants, accidentally is a lie. No, they murdered them. It's just a fact. You can call it whatever you want. Genocide. Everyone's like, why? It's genocide. Okay, it doesn't matter what you call it. That's murder. You're killing people on purpose. The idea that they've killed tens of thousands of women and children, non-combatants.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Accidentally.
So it's super short, but it's really good.
It's fact.
You
can call it whatever you want. Genocide. Everyone's like, why?
Stop, Hazel. Yeah, it's just really good to see Tucker. Tucker is interesting in a way, like Candace Owens, where their past is really pretty bad, right, in terms of their political opinions, but yet you can see that both of them they're not grifters. They actually have made decisions based on their personal beliefs and made decisions, and knowing that those decisions are pretty substantial. I mean, Charlie Kirk is dead now, and Candace Owens is going up against Israel, and Tucker Carlson is going up against Israel. So I will give them props. I know they got bad histories. I will give them props for this, because it's brave in this day and age to be a public figure, especially from the right, who's going after Israel. So,
Absolutely.
and hence the US, because we fund it, we give the intelligence, we give, all of the things going on. There was that quote from the Israel leader that said they wouldn't be able to do anything without the US help. It would dry up in days without our help.
So it's our responsibility to make it stop. And instead, what our government is doing, if you want to bring up the U.S. citizen and Illinoisan, shares their experience. Instead, they're using the tactics that they, perfected elsewhere in the world. And now they're turning it on U.S. citizens and people that live here. So this was, I just want to make a comment beforehand. This was Dick Durbin's thing. But what is he doing about it? Go ahead.
My name is Diane Figueroa. I am a proud first-generation Mexican American, a criminal justice major, a single mother, and a future law student. What happened to me almost exactly 2 months ago on October 10, 2025, was not law enforcement. It was violence, blatant racial profiling, and a shocking abuse of federal authority. That morning, I kissed my son goodbye and watched him walk into school, never imagining that it would be what felt like days before I felt safe again. On my regular commute into Chicago, I approached what looked like chaos. Cars stopped in the middle of the street, people running, yelling, and recording on their phones. Moments later, my life changed forever. A silver SUV with double tinted windows suddenly swerved into my lane and struck my car. The driver's face was almost entirely concealed, hat, dark tinted glasses, and a face mask. He made no gesture, no signal. Before I could even process what was happening, his passengers, other masked men, jumped out with guns drawn and aimed directly at me. They ripped open my door. One of them screamed in my face, demanding that I get out, yet never identifying himself, never asked me for my ID, and never told me where I was being detained or why. They never read me my rights. Instead, I was violated. These tough guys violently dragged me out of my car, yanked me by my feet, and ripped the phone out of my hands. Beaten, bleeding, and barefoot, I was thrown into a red van. I begged them to tell me who they were and where they were taking me. No one answered. I was shoved into the edge of a third row seat, no seatbelt, suffocating body heat, and no air conditioning. I was wedged between two terrified Latino men who did not speak English. We were all handcuffed, unsecured, helpless, and I went into a full panic attack. While I was shaking, crying, gasping for air, and banging my own head against the window, screaming for help, hoping someone from the outside could hear me, they raised their phones and began to photograph me. Two more masked men in full black tactical gear, carrying professional cameras, had been circling me from the beginning, documenting my terror. Where those images ended up, only God knows. I was not treated like a human being, and I was certainly not treated like a US citizen, but I was preyed upon. They were proud to have captured me. I was first violated at the Broadview Immigration Detention Center, and eventually while in FBI custody in Lombard, Illinois. Everything moved quickly and without explanation. I was fingerprinted, photographed, and swabbed for DNA, and fully processed and identified, all while my physical condition was rapidly worsening. I repeatedly told them that I was recovering from 2 recent kidney surgeries. No one took it seriously until I began to pee blood.
Oh.
I begged for help, for a phone call, a lawyer, for water, bandages, anything to ease the pain. Instead, I was laughed at and thrown into a filthy jail cell. The toilet available for me was under direct surveillance. With no privacy, no dignity, and unbearable pain, I had no choice but to use it. When visible blood appeared, their soulless demeanor finally vanished. Not out of care, but because they didn't want me to die in their custody. While I was being kidnapped, my family and friends were desperately trying to find me, contacting the members of our inner circles, elected officials, civil rights organizations, and legal advocates. They did not know whether I was being killed, kidnapped, or trafficked. Hours later, I was finally allowed to access my phone again by the heroic paramedics. My cut, trembling hands could barely type, but I managed to send a message at 2:07 p.m. in an ambulance. Within seconds, my boyfriend replied with something that stunned me: a photo of the very Village of Lombard ambulance I was inside of. Their determination, love, and the refusal to stop searching are the only reasons I was not lost entirely. Like the hundreds of people, including children, who had been reported missing from the ICE locator system since these domestic terrorizations began in our country. Or worse, killed, like my neighbor and father of two, Silvario Villegas Gonzalez of Franklin Park, Illinois. A father of two minors, my neighbor. He died in the course of an ICE operation. What happened to me that day is not an arrest. It was an assault and a kidnapping of a US citizen. I was never arrested, I was never charged, I was never given an explanation or an apology. But the damage is done and it continues. I suffer severe bruising, nerve damage, a broken tooth, and aggravated injuries to my leg and wrists. My surgically repaired kidney became swollen and inflamed. And emotionally, I developed PTSD, panic attacks, and severe anxiety. I swear I've been kidnapped in my nightmares every single night since. Weeks later, a disturbing pattern emerged. Reports of nearly identical incidents. This time, a man with schizophrenia was kidnapped and later released in a completely different town by the same masked agents, using the same reckless tactics and the same red van they used to attack me in. It is important to say this clearly. The individuals who did this do not represent the honorable men and women who serve in our military, our local police departments, and our federal agencies, with integrity and accountability. Those people protect us.
Thank you, Ms. Figueroa. If you can just wrap up in the next sentence or two.
Yes,
time.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Despite everything, I am here. I am standing and I am speaking because I refuse ICE to rewrite my story. I refuse to let fear silence me. This was not just an incident, it was a violation of my physical being, my rights, my dignity, and my humanity. And I will not rest until there's accountability, transparency, and change. Thank you.
Right. And, you know, our police
Good
stood
morning.
by and yeah, our police stood by and let all this happen, right? They allowed kidnappings to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And instead our state police should be arresting these people, these masked people, and then they can figure it out in court. Oh, they are federal agents. Oh, we didn't know. We just saw masked people kidnapping.
Unidentified masked men.
Right. That's what you do if you're the police.
Creating a traffic accident. And I remember that video. I think it's the same woman. They dragged her out of the car and kneeled on her, like slammed her down to the ground, kneeled on her, and she just had kidney surgery.
Right.
They almost killed her on the spot. I mean, and it's just racial profiling, you know, and that's where it'll start, but it will continue to people that speak out. So it won't stop there.
Well, and just the fact that it's allowing that our state allows this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just horrible. It's horrible. Our state, you know, states' rights. Our states we have a police department that's supposed to protect the citizens.
Mm-hmm.
If some alien group comes in and starts kidnapping, you are supposed to arrest and figure it out in court.
They are there to enforce the law.
Yeah.
They're not doing it.
Nope.
Her rights were violated. They broke the law, and that's why they're masked. But I also wanted to play really quick the next one, ICE agents stealing cash.
Okay.
They caught them. So I mean, you know, let's arrest people then take their shit. Right?
Yeah.
Do you have that, Hazel?
Yeah, it's I haven't actually looked at this one yet, so
It's pretty short.
Okay. Do you have that?
Oh, it's right underneath the one where she just spoke.
Okay, let me put it up.
Yeah, it's Instagram. ICE agents stealing cash.
Okay.
Video is going viral because it shows ICE agents stealing cash from a food vendor.
Oh,
So
jeez.
they detained this man earlier in the day. He has a huge following, chilaquiles. And after they take him, they come back. And look, video. This is why we film, always film. Getting the box, all the cash, throwing it in the car. How many other agents have been doing this to street vendors, taking all their shit? Because they're never going to see it.
De gym, nos venimos aquí a Don Chilaquiles, aquí en el 858 de la Sunset Avenue, en la ciudad de La Puente, California.
Huge following. They're literally just taking people from our communities and their money. We know there's been reporting of ICE agents doing all this crazy stuff. We just haven't had video of them taking cash from these people. And now we do.
Unos chilaquiles, huevitos.
And the Daily Mail came out with a near report of all these agents who have been failing background checks, still hired. Can't meet the physical requirements. You've seen how they can't even run, still hired. Not to mention these fools are getting $50K and still stealing money. Bunch of low-life thugs. And that is why they wear masks, because they don't want to be held accountable because they're doing a lot of shady shit. Share this video. This video is going viral because it shows ICE.
We did share it.
We shared it.
Yeah. And, again, I just wish people would talk about secession more because that's what we gotta get, we have to show our rights as a state. We have to, I'm not saying I should do, but we got to threaten it. We got to threaten it because we shouldn't. And now, now they're attacking other places. Now they're in New Orleans, they're in Minnesota. So,
yeah,
they're got to stop this.
Our own government is attacking our own country.
Right. And citizens. That woman was a U.S. citizen that went through that horrific ordeal. So, but she actually spoke with an accent and was slightly brown in complexion. So that's why she got it. So, this whole immigration thing, they're not going after the rich people that fly in the fancy hotels that haven't filled out that paperwork, right?
Exactly.
I mean, they're not going after them, folks.
I wanted to make sure we covered this Dorothy Lennon piece, the 5 monkeys experiment, the shocking reason Americans aren't fighting back. I would say a lot of us are, but en masse, currently in the United States, over 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Almost 60% can't cover a $1,000 emergency. Almost 45,000 people die each year because they can't afford medical care.
Yeah.
And half of renters in America are spending more than 30% of their income on rent. That should be the metric.
It's more than 30. It's more than 30.
With these unstable conditions, you would think Americans would be mobilizing and protesting within their communities or inside of Washington. I mean, they are, but not enough. Instead, the oligarchs have gotten some in the working class to do their work for them of suppressing any semblance of organizing against neoliberalism. There was an experiment conducted that perfectly describes this phenomenon. It's called the 5 monkeys experiment. Begins with 3. I'll just briefly say it begins with 3 monkeys in a cage and bananas. When they try to get it, they're sprayed, they're chastised. Well, you put a 4th monkey in. When he begins to organize to grab the bananas, he's beaten up by the other 3 monkeys. And then he gives up hope on reaching the bananas. A 5th monkey is added. When he begins to organize to grab the bananas, he is beaten up by the other 4 monkeys. Then he gives up hope. So basically, it is self-policing. When they convince enough of us that it's impossible to reach what we want.
Yeah. Gee, is there
Then
an
we start
analogy
becoming the ones that keep telling other people that still want that, oh, you can't have it.
Yep.
And they fight us too. So
how's the analogy of fitting that to the Jill Stein situation? How much she got attacked in her 2 presidential runs. Horrible attacks that I would see from friends of mine just saying the most outrageous stuff about a really nice person who doing the democratic U.S. Constitution thing, running for president. And she was, harassed. It's just
accused of all kinds of things that were debunked constantly.
And also just attacking a person who just wants to run for president. It's sick. And it's exactly that. It's sick. And you compare that, a person just in the country wanting to run for president, compared to those corrupt politicians who are making millions off stock because they have insider stock information, the corruption that goes on a country, signing bills to slaughter people. Okay, now you put those people up against Jill Stein, and you're going to attack Jill Stein? I mean, sick.
Well, yeah, and this next article from Jack Hopkins, I don't agree with his, still think the Democrats can do anything because they're in on it. But, Americans' new psyop numbing you to human suffering. So I remember 9/11, how they just showed the destruction of the towers over and over and over and over. It's there to psychologically numb you. It's not a theory. This is observable, repeatable, measurable psychological conditioning rolled out in broad daylight by the White House that has discovered one of the most dangerous truths in political power. If you can train a nation's nervous system to feel less, you can rule that nation with more. And the most chilling, Jack Hopkins now. I lost my space. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Jack Hopkins. Okay.
Yeah. And the most chilling part, they're not even hiding it. For months, the public has been fed a steady diet of video clips, short, punchy, adrenaline-drenched pieces of content showing boats blown up apart in the Caribbean. Explosions captured from drones, lethal force turned into a visual snack-sized broadcast. And the captions drenched in Hollywood swagger. Another one down. Mission accomplished. Don't mess with us. Do you notice what they never say? They never say there were human lives on those boats.
Right.
Because the point of psyops isn't to make you cheer the violence. It's to make you get used to it.
Yeah.
That
is so true. People have certainly gotten used to boat strikes.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have been horrified at number 1, and now we're at, I don't know, number 12 or something.
It says that. It says sign number 1, the repetition loop. As any marketer, therapist, or neurolinguistic trainer, repetition rewires the brain. Show America's 1 boat blowing up. Shocking. 5 boats blowing up. Concerning. 10. Oh, that's odd. 20. Another one.
Oh, God. The perfect analogy is Israel blowing up hospitals. Remember the first hospital they blew up? People were like arguing. No, they didn't. It was internal. There was a mistake. They just were arguing like crazy. By the fifth hospital, it didn't even make the news.
Yeah.
Didn't even make the news. Oh, another hospital got blown up. Oh, well.
Yeah, and they never humanize it. It gives you, like sign number 2, the cinematic aesthetic. These clips aren't raw, unfiltered documentation. No, they're edited on purpose. Stabilized, trimmed, color balanced. Presented from an angle that makes the strike look clean, efficient, decisive, almost beautiful. That is not journalism. That is production. Hollywood does this to make you cheer the hero. The White House is doing it to make you stop caring about the bodies. The music is only missing. Give it time.
I'm forgetting the person, NBC, maybe somebody in the chat. It was the night that they first started bombing Iraq, and the main news guy, the number 1 news person, I think it was NBC, just talked about the beauty of it. And they showed the light going, shh.
Oh,
right.
And they named it shock and awe.
Yeah, right.
Shock and awe. Sign number 3, removal of human faces. Notice how not a single clip shows the people on the boats, their fear, their surrender, their attempts to flee, their bodies after the impact.
Right. They've been trying to get that second video released of them crying for help, and I don't think it's come out yet. I don't think so. Yeah.
And the timing matches a larger strategy. Look at the broader pattern of messaging over the last year. Constant threats of military crackdowns, promises to use toughness against American citizens, language portraying dissenters as enemies, rhetoric romanticizing force, domination, submission, open fantasies about its expanding presidential power.
Yeah, Antifa was declared a terrorist organization, right?
There is no Antifa.
I know,
but I don't think it really exists.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't exist. But it's a concept. It's something you believe in. But yeah, they declared it a terrorist organization. Right.
Yep. And it's all to normalize the violence. So when it happens to your neighbor, you don't care anymore.
Yep.
So I know it's tough, but you cannot let that happen. Because then they win. They win on such a deep level that it'll take us a century to come back from, I think.
We've had a couple of protests about the possible invasion of Venezuela so far in Chicago. They haven't been that large yet, but hopefully they will get larger because people are just going along with this and supporting both strikes. I mean, just sick.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that next week for sure. Already got it in the show, but do we have that graphic? I don't see it now.
Which one?
Oh, the one about there it is. Yeah, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Climate change is the universe's way of giving us a deadline to overthrow capitalism.
Right? That's a really good. Mother Earth is letting us know. Yeah, it is so true. And I have a song that I wrote. It's called "The Earth Doesn't Care." The Earth doesn't care. It doesn't care that you won the Nobel Peace Prize or whatever the fuck you did. It doesn't.
It doesn't really care if humans are still here.
Right. It doesn't care. It's just doing its shit. And you throw in the carbon into the atmosphere and it's going to act accordingly, according to the science.
So if we can hang on just a couple more minutes, I did want to get to the Solar's New Dawn part of our broadcast. So, back to the homeless situation that we talked about earlier. So this is from Facebook. It's Japan's new solar heated benches.
Okay.
Posted by FAM Networks. Japan created solar benches that keep people warm through freezing nights. They collect energy during the day and they release a gentle warmth at night.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine how game-changing that would be?
Oh, my God.
Not just for homeless people, just for like people waiting for the bus or, it shows a level of caring for the public that we don't seem to have. And then in Utah, they changed.
Let's show a little. You know what? The graphic might be AI. That's okay. A lot of times those are fake graphics. So
and we were talking about earlier, to discourage homeless people from existing, I guess they put, poles along walls so they can't lean on them, and they put bars in the middle of benches,
right?
So they can't lay down on them. So, they just want to ignore the problem.
You know what? I'll throw
instead
it
of fix it.
I'll throw it out there. Just, I don't know if it's AI.
Just for funsies.
Yeah, it might be AI. I don't know. Did I do the right one? Yeah. So there it is.
Look how nice that is.
Yeah, it looks cool. Although
cold winter night, you want to take the bus. Like maybe you don't have a car. Maybe you don't want a car. Can you imagine that being in New York? How nice that would be? Because they do a lot of public transportation. Go ahead.
I haven't seen. They did a lot of construction on the L tracks in Chicago, but I remember just we would really depend on those heaters above, like standing under the heater. So so very important. That's a great idea. Great idea.
And then real quick, Utah. They adjusted their state laws so people can do plug-in solar panels on their balcony.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'll supply your own electricity. A groundbreaking wave of legislation is set to bring affordable solar power to millions of Americans through innovative plug-in panels designed for apartments and small spaces. Utah made history earlier this year as the first state to legalize small portable solar panels that simply plug into standard wall outlets, potentially revolutionizing how renters and urban dwellers access clean energy. Can you imagine? A lot of people, the way it works now, it's a big deal. They put it on the roof,
Cool.
I know somebody that's going through it. They're like, wow, I didn't know it was going to be all this.
Yeah. No. They got to make it easier. Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully technology will get there because, we got to have better solutions, folks. Real quick.
Technology is not bad in and of itself. Technology is amazing. It's how how we legislate it and who gets control over it and who's allowed to use it.
Yeah.
I'm going to show my age here, but the Jetsons promised us a 4-hour work day, and we only work 3 days a week or something. You know, his big thing was he got tired of pushing a button. You know, well, corporations took that away from us. You know, the efficiency is there, but they're not giving us the benefits. They're keeping them for themselves.
Right.
And they're weaponizing it so against us. But yeah. Oh, Brian says Sabby is showing some of new Epstein pictures, including Larry Summers.
Okay. Yeah. No, yeah, I've only seen a little of them, but it is creepy, and it kind of just, again, it just points to the elite and how gross they are. I mean, I don't know what years those pictures are from, but you know, Epstein was a convicted sex offender back in the 90s or something in Florida. And because of the corruption, the judge gave him a super light sentence or something, and they had him out real quick. But he was a convicted sex offender.
Not accused.
Not accused. He was convicted. And I'm pretty sure that post that conviction, all those folks, knowing he was a convicted child sex offender, were hanging out with him. And, you know, so it just shows how gross and sick our elites are. They're really, really some sick ass people.
Yeah.
I mean, they just.
Yeah, they belong in prison, not in power.
Yeah.
Ooh. That sounds
Here you go.
good.
Okay, slogan. Here we go.
Prison, not in power.
I like it.
Let out all the all
Hazel,
the
make
people
a graphic. We're doing our insider Green Party stuff on air.
That's how we roll.
Yeah.
I just want to thank everybody for being here today.
Thanks,
We did make
everybody.
it through 99% of the show.
And thank you, Hazel. Thank you for helping out. It's really a big relief. I don't have to be scrumbling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. We appreciate Hazel.
Yeah.
Does social media and graphics for us. So
Yeah.
very
And the
much
show
appreciated.
produces the show.
And produces the show as
Yeah.
well. And we will be back with who's our Wednesday guest?
Oh, William S4.
Okay.
Yeah, William, who was from Gaza and lives in Illinois now. And so we're going to be talking to him. So it'll be a good conversation, William.
Yeah. Wednesday, 7:00, and we'll see you then.
Yep.
And join your local Green Party.
Yay, please do. Yes.
Bye-bye now.
An uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising.